What's going on, humans, extraterrestrials, and ethereal beings of all kind? Welcome back to yet another episode of What Up, Aliens? My name's Austin Kress, aka Stoney McBlaze. This is a podcast about how I'm feeling, things that are happening in the world, mental health, and positivity, and also sometimes negativity in the beginning, but we will always end positive, okay? I'm going to talk about a bunch of random stuff. I'm going to talk about the topic that you clicked on for this video, which is Indiana Jones real? We're going to find out today if Indiana Jones is real. Is it based on a real guy? I don't know. I was watching it, and I had done some dabberoos, and I was like, yeah, is this a real dude? Is there an actual Indiana Jones out there? Let me find out. Let me explore this for the podcast, and this will be great content. Oh, baby. We'll see. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't. You know, that's kind of this whole deal. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. But I'm having fun doing it. My God, last week was an absolute cluster mess of technical problems. Double audio being uploaded on the YouTube. Embarrassing. And on the Patreon. Embarrassing. It was later than I mean, it was just a whole mess. And I told myself this week I was going to record earlier in the week. Didn't do it. Didn't happen. Got busy. Here we are. Saturday. It comes out Monday. What are we doing? Last minute work. I thrive under the pressure. You know, I do love the pressure. I love when they pull up and they're like, you got to do this. One time I was doing stand-up in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia. And the guy who booked me and my buddy Leonard, he was headlining. I was doing a set. And he came up to me and he hands me a $50 bill. And he goes, you better be funny. And then he walked away. And I had like 45 minutes of other comedians doing jokes before I got up. So every time they did a joke, I was just comparing the jokes that I had to their jokes. I was like, okay, they're really liking this. Do I have anything about the differences between white people and black people? I don't know. We'll see. I don't think I do. It's going to be fine. Oh, I'll figure it out. And then the set went really well. I had a good set. I was funny. And so I like that pressure of like, you need to be funny. And then I will. If I need to be funny, I'll bring it out. I'll do it. I'm going to be funny tonight. I've got a show tonight. It's Saturday. You're watching this on Monday. The show is over. Thank you so much for coming. All of you that came. We had a blast. We had a lot of fun. We got some free goodies from the fine folks at Maxwell Farms. Very excited. And then I'll be sampling their goods on my Patreon. So if you want to watch me sample some goods, check out the Patreon. I'll be sampling goods. I got another product that I can't show on YouTube, I don't think. Maybe I can. But I'm going to show it on the Patreon first. And then, I don't know, later on, we'll see. Maybe I'll put it up on YouTube. It'll almost certainly be demonetized. But maybe that's okay if it brings in people to watch. And then that one gets the views, but it doesn't get the money. But then people come watch the other stuff. That could be cool. You know, we're trying. We tried a real clickbait pod last week. Didn't work. No clicks. No one was baited by the clicks, turns out. But that's not going to stop me, okay? I don't care that there's 200 people listening. That's a lie. I care. I wish it was more. But I'm going to have fun no matter what. Irregardlessly. Not a word, but fun to say. Irregardlessly, I'm going to keep putting it out. So, eventually, this will find its audience. And we're hoping it's an extraterrestrial audience. To be honest, I would rather have a whole bunch of extraterrestrials listening to me in your spaceship. Shout out to the extraterrestrials out there right now. Shout out to you guys floating through the cosmos. Hope you're listening to this. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope that Earth hasn't been destroyed yet. But this could be thousands of years in the future. And then you're just watching this. And what if this was the only thing that survived from the media? And they're like, we don't know anything about this lost civilization except this guy. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny to be the voice. And that's also too much pressure. Like, it can't be me. Regardless of what you think about him, Joe Rogan's podcast, if that was left to aliens, that would give a pretty decent summary of the human race. You get a pretty good cross-section, not perfect, but you get a pretty good cross-section of everything that's happening. Pretty much every topic is talked about, so that's a good one. But this one, they would be like, oh, he's really talking about us a lot. This is kind of an ode to the people that'll find it in many ways. But yeah, show tonight. Worried about ticket sales, always, right? This last year of my life has been nothing but worrying about ticket sales, constantly, and I don't know how to fix it. I've been trying to upload more stand-up clips. Obviously, I have a podcast. I mean, the whole goal, everything is to get people out to the live shows. Now, the small benefit of this, of the slow build, and I do get people out to some of the shows. Okay, I've had shows that have sold really well, and I was so excited. And recently I've just taken such a ticket hit, and hopefully I'm talking all this nonsense, and then the show sells out tonight, and then it was all for naught, and it was all in my head, and it was no worries. We got 9 tickets last time I checked, and I don't check often because I'm worried. Much like my finances, I got a real hands-off approach. And maybe that's the issue. Maybe I need to be more dialed in. I sent almost 700 DMs. Literally, I put up a story post that said, do you live in Los Angeles? 715 people replied. I sent 700 DMs with the ticket link. If 10% of those people show up, it's sold out. If 5% bring a friend, it's sold out. So it's, the effort, we're putting in the effort. We're doing our best. I made promo videos. All the promo videos bomb. It's so hard to get a promo video to go viral and reach a large audience. The only time my clips do really well is when I'm not promoting a show. It's Instagram knows. Instagram knows. All the apps know when you start to promote a show, they're like, no, we only advertise our things. And I am advertising. I'm running ads on Facebook. So this will be interesting to watch. Maybe. I don't know. It's weird because I'm talking about myself. But if there was a comedian that I liked, I would be interested to know about their journey. So you're learning about my journey. And some of you like me. Some of you, I don't know. Some of you just listen. I don't know what's going on there. But more and more, we'll find it. And that's the cool thing. The cool thing, though, is I have been, the people that I have gotten to come out to shows, I've enjoyed. It's really nice. And I think that you guys will meet a lot of like-minded people at the show as well. So I think we're going to build a fun community. And I don't want to be a leader of a community. I don't, I'm not, but I can do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Just keep it positive, keep it light, keep it fun, right? And then we'll be okay. We'll be all right. Bad news for my Zyn addiction. I just listened to Mark Maron and Josh Brolin on Mark Maron's podcast, and they're both so addicted to Zyn. They love it so much, and they're 2 super successful guys. So unfortunately, it's like when I was younger and I found out that all, a lot of artists were like alcoholics and drug addicts, that really romanticizes the whole deal. And then I dove into it and I was like, okay, this isn't really actually helpful for me. I can't do this. I got to stop doing alcohol. But Zyn, Josh Brolin and Mark Maron, Josh Brolin's one of the best actors out there. Mark Maron's one of the most successful podcasters and a phenomenal stand-up comedian. And he's acting too. He's doing it all. And he's powered by Zyn. The whole world is running on this stuff. I guarantee you almost every cabinet member is going to be addicted to it. It's wild. It's this whole country. We are so addicted to this little pouch of nicotine. And it makes sense. Nicotine has been like a substance that every culture has used profusely. Before it was pouches, obviously everyone was vaping. And before vaping, people were just openly smoking cigarettes. Chain smoking cigarettes. In every room of every building. Like 20 years ago. Probably less. About 20 years ago. I still remember as a kid the smoking and non-smoking sections in restaurants in Perkins. Shout out to Perkins. I don't know if even they still exist. And airplanes. Everywhere, bro. They were all over it. They loved it. It was nicotine. It was powering us. Winston Churchill famously smoked cigars in the morning and then led the English to victory against the Germans. Or what? I don't really know how much he contributed, but people really think he's a great guy. So I don't know. I think he had some policies that probably weren't perfect, but what politician doesn't have policies that we look back and we're like, oh God, oh dear, what have you done? That's terribly racist. Good night. We gotta bring back saying good night to people. Good night and good day. I feel like it's so savage. Who had that? Fez on that 70s show was always like, good day. I say good day. So bringing that back. Good night. As a punchline, you just roast somebody. Your mom was so fat. Part of her enters the room before the rest of her. Terrible your mama joke. Good night. Got you. You know. Back to a simpler time when we were just roasting each other's moms. Very serious. Jake Paul lost to Mike Tyson. Other way around. I Freudian slipped into what I wanted. Mike Tyson lost to Jake Paul. Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. That is an insane phrase. That is a phrase that makes no sense. That is the most 2024 phrase of all time. Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. It does feel like something the Simpsons would have predicted. I don't think they did. Maybe they did, but it does feel like something so ridiculous where you're just like, the world, I mean, I think other people have definitely talked about this, but it is crazy doing comedy now because in history, the world presented itself as more buttoned up. Like, crazy stuff has always been happening, but like there was this facade of suits and nice hair and stuff that where you were like, no, things are okay, and then the comedians were like, actually, things are really messed up. And you were like, wow, that's so funny because life feels like it's okay, but this comedian is telling me it's actually messed up. And now it's like the world is funnier than most of us. The actual things happen. Jake Paul beating Mike Tyson is something that would have done well in a sketch show. It would have done well on a Simpsons episode, an animated show. Rick and Morty could have done a bit about it in an alternate universe where Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson. Like, a YouTuber beating one of the greatest boxers of all time, it sounds like a sketch idea. That sounds insane, and that's our actual life. So now I think as a comedian, my thing is just kind of being like, oh yeah, dude, the world is crazy. You're right, the world is nuts, and here's some other ways that it's nuts, and here's how this nutsness has personally affected me. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Like, yeah, just make you feel like things are as bad as you think they are, but also, like, let's laugh through the pain, kind of, is sort of the idea as well. All right, main topic. 13 minutes in, we get to our main topic. Is Indiana Jones real? And I'm going to use my friend Google to nail this. Yeah, I could have done pre-research, but what's the fun in that? Vanity Fair. Decently reputable, I believe. Well, Indiana Jones writer George Lucas and director Steven Spielberg are far too savvy at myth-making to ever officially say no. Internet sleuths mostly agree that Dr. Henry Walton, Indiana Jones, I did not know his full name was Henry Walton. Henry Walton Jones? Yeah, you need the Indiana. Henry Walton Jones sounds like an attorney, a corporate attorney, or like a Mad Men character. Henry Walton Jones is not running into a haunted cave and getting away from a boulder in time. Henry Walton Jones is tripping on his shoelaces and knocking himself out on a rock before the adventure even begins. That is not the name. You need the Indiana. You need a good state, and it couldn't have been any other state, right? It's not like Nebraska Jones. Actually, Nebraska Jones is pretty good. Idaho Jones. Alaska Jones. Oh, Alaska Jones. For some reason, Alaska sounds like a chick, like the Laura Croft equivalent. Alaska Jones. All right. The fiction. Okay. Dr. Henry Walton, Indiana Jones, the fictional adventurer, explorer, hunky professor, and intrepid archaeologist, is most certainly based on a real person. Naturalist and paleontologist Roy Chapman Andrews, or as Sarah Appleby calls him, Granddad. Don't know who Sarah Appleby is, but cool, good for her, I guess. Roy Chapman Jones. Oh, he was from Texas? Makes sense. If there was, dude, Matthew McConaughey as Indiana Jones would be sensational. Now that's something I could get into. We're going to go in that cave. We're going to take a little look around. We're going to see if there's any treasures for us. All right? There may be treasure. There may not be treasure. But what matters is we tried. We locked ourselves into a creative space and we said, let's see if there is or if there isn't. And if there is, if there's physical treasure, we'll come out of it with our hands. If there's not, we'll come out with treasure in our hearts. Wisdom is more valuable than gold. That's something I learned a long time ago. I was trying to buy a hot dog from a man in Pakistan. And I tried to give him gold. He said, we do not accept this currency, sir, but I will accept a riddle. If you can solve this riddle, I'll give you this hot dog. And that's what I learned. That life is not just about the gold in your pocket, but about the gold in your heart. That would be a phenomenal movie. I would be into that. Okay. I was young, older. Oh, I'm gonna do his voice as Matthew McConaughey. I was young. He was older and retired. Says 74-year-old Texan. But even then, there were things that made me think he wasn't like other grandfathers. Oh, this is the Sarah Appleby talking. Okay. In a glass case on his coffee table, for example, sat a pile of dinosaur eggs. When he took her target shooting, his aim was suspiciously good. He gifted her an 18-inch knife in a wooden case that had silver embossings, which he told her was originally owned by Genghis Khan. Dude, your grandfather gives you a Genghis Khan knife? I'm never not talking about that. That's the end of me going to parties and talking about more than one thing. I got a Genghis Khan knife. Many grandfathers tell tales, notes Appleby, but not hers. He never told me a story that wasn't true because he didn't need to. Only when she was 16, after her granddad died at the age of 76, Appleby realized how famous he'd been in his heyday. The director of the American Natural History, director of the American Museum of Natural History, Andrews was a world-famous explorer, naturalist, and paleontologist, and author of 22 books. The 1923 Time magazine cover subject, leader of expeditions through Tibet, China, Mongolia, the latter in which more than once he got lost in the Gobi Desert. Very Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones does mess up, and it is kind of funny sometimes. For a man once so famous that his dog's death allegedly made the papers, why isn't Andrews a household name? For Ann Bossum, the author of a photobiography on Amelia Earhart, or wait. Oh, it's because instead of disappearing a la Amelia Earhart or perishing in a headline-worthy adventure, he came very close many times. Andrews instead retired and lived his last years quietly in Carmel Valley, California. Despite all his adventures, he didn't have some dramatic exit to sear himself into the public's imagination. Or maybe his legacy was shifted into the character he almost certainly inspired. With the fifth and allegedly last Indiana Jones film hitting the big screen, here's everything you need to know about Roy Chapman Andrews, a.k.a. the real-life Indiana Jones. Whoa, we got a picture of this guy? He kind of looks like James Acaster a little bit. It's kind of funny. Wow. Yeah, he's definitely an adventurer, though. I'll put the picture up. He was a mediocre student who began without any official scientific training. Yeah, and that's always a good start. Many times, people that are terrible in school are good in real life, and we don't really know why that is, but I think it's just because you don't fit in the system, and so then you're like, I gotta find my own way. This isn't working, and you have to try really hard outside of the system, and that could be it. Also, I mean, if you're failing at the traditional path, school, and getting good grades, you have to be successful in other areas, sports, or socially or something. I was pretty good in school, so the odds of me being successful, low. But I think I'm beating him. We'll see. He was from Wisconsin. Okay, no stranger to the cold. He was ever curious, but easily distractible. Okay, he had ADD. So thank God Ritalin wasn't invented. We would have never gotten this man. With Ritalin being invented too early, we don't get Indiana Jones. All right. But also, if you take Ritalin and it helps you, please keep taking it. Don't stop. I'm not a doctor. I'm barely a comedian. Okay. You'd think he'd take biology or some kind of science, but he actually studied English, which eventually served him very well. He became a superb writer and communicator who could talk his way into and out of anything. A friend's untimely death. Oh, influences work from then on. That's good. You need a good tragedy young. Tragedy young breeds success. Almost always. Well, at Beloit College, Andrews befriended an instructor named Montague White. I don't know if that's his voice, but Montague White seems that he could only have one sort of voice. No, I'm not English. I just know how to talk. Something he would say. While canoeing together in the ice-cold Rock River, cold plunge, let's go, Monty dropped his paddle overboard and lunged for it, which tipped the boat. While Andrews made his way to shore, he turned back to see his friend drowning. Whoa! He had muscle cramps and sunk like a stone. Oh, boy. According to Bonham, deeply traumatized and depressed, Andrews lost weight. Oh, no. His hair fell out. Uh-oh. But he ultimately recovered with a new obsession with safety. Yeah, you'll never catch this guy without a life jacket. That's for sure. He's also probably gotten in incredible shape. He's eaten a lot of bananas. I refuse to get a cramp. Cramps will kill you. You got to stay hydrated, son. Cramps will kill you. Your muscle cramps up, then your brain cramps up. That's fine. A muscle can cramp up, but if a brain cramps up, that's a stroke. He was a meticulous planner who prepared for every possible eventuality. I maintain that accident helped to remind Andrews all the time about risk and that his adventures came with a cost, Bossum says. All right, cool. That's very sad, but, it spurred on greatness, so that's good. So that's very good. He talked himself into the gig at the American Museum of Natural History, washing floors. He started washing floors. He was the janitor, bro. He was the janitor. And he eventually did get his master's in mammalogy, the study of mammals, from Columbia University. The floors were walked on by scientific gods, he said. They were not ordinary floors. I didn't mind scrubbing them. Yeah, I don't feel the same way. I don't want to wash the floor at the Comedy Store. Although, to be fair, if they did say, if you mop this kitchen, we'll give you 5 minutes on stage, I would do it in a heartbeat. So I guess I do understand this guy. He found the extinct gray whale was alive and well. Oh, wow. So they thought something was extinct, and this guy poked around in the oceans and found it. In lieu of a salary, okay, so he tricked him. In lieu of a salary, Andrews convinced his bosses, he did it for exposure, the oldest trick in the book. Andrews convinced his bosses to fund his first proper expedition on whales. Okay, so he's like, I don't need the money, just give me enough money to go out there and find these whales. I want to be Captain Ahab. That's a Moby Dick reference. Okay. Close to home, 54 foot. Wow, 54 feet of a whale. That'd be wild. I went whale watching once. It was great. Long Island. Oh, he found one in Long Island. Okay. Holy, wow. Traveling to Korea to research his thesis on the great whale. He thought they were likely extinct. Andrews brought with him cutting-edge technology in the form of a camera. Aha! He was out there taking the first live-action photos of whales. Nobody had done that before. First person to photograph a whale. That's a good one. There's not a lot of firsts left. They're getting weirder and weirder. It's going to be tough. He proved dinosaurs hatched from eggs and got a dino named after him. Which one? It was named the Paracentraps Andrewsi. After its discovery. All right, cool. Very exciting. Found it. Okay, he's right place at the right time. He had a combination of personal drive, personality, and being of a particular moment. Andrew's heyday coincided with the first commercial automobiles. Nice. Portable, although clunky, cameras, and the broadcast radio. Okay, so he had ambition as technology was moving forward. And that's the thing. It's like, what are we going to do with this AI? Who's going to be the first AI Indiana Jones? Okay. He had a very famous fear. Ooh. He was afraid of snakes. So this is 100% based on him. That's too specific of a detail. That is absolutely 100% based on him. 100% based on him, dude. This is it. This is absolutely it. Roy Chapman Andrews, Indiana Jones. Roy Chapman Andrews, baby. He repeatedly dodged death, lived to be an old man, went on many adventures. When he had to, he cleaned up really nicely. All right, they're saying he was a little bit sexy. Put on a tuxedo. He fit right in with the upper crust of New York society. He was with the Kellogg's, the Colgates, the Rockefellers. Ooh, charming his way. Nice. Met his second wife. 2 wives. Very Indiana Jones. Very Indiana Jones to get a divorce. Wilhelmina Billy Christmas. Wilhelmina Christmas. Wait, like Wilhelmina models? He married a model? His second wife was a model. His first wife was probably a professor, and then his second wife was a model. Wow. That's crazy. All right. So it's real. There's a real Indiana Jones. Paleontologist Roy Chapman Andrews was a real-life Indiana Jones. Stunning. We got to the bottom of it. Much like Indiana Jones myself, We got to the bottom of this. Okay, beautiful. All right, well, we're going to count that as one positive news story. Indiana Jones was real. So now we just need 2 more. Oh, wait, daily check-in. I feel good today, man. Let's do this daily check-in. I haven't done a daily check-in in a while, but I have been feeling, really good. Happy, excited, grateful, relaxed, content. Yeah, man, I feel good. I'm a little anxious, but that's okay. Just about ticket sales. Oh, I didn't even talk about it. I taped something on Thursday. I taped a little 10-minute set for this place called Jam in the Van. And I don't know when it's going to come out. But keep an eye out for that. It's going to be, it was my first taping. It was my first time actually setting up. I mean, I opened my friend's special taping, I guess, but that doesn't really count. Cause I was hosting and, whatever. Footage was great, but I couldn't exactly use it. But yeah, dude, I did it. I taped something. That's kind of a big milestone for a comedian, getting that first tape. And I was worried a little bit because sometimes when I know I have to hit certain jokes, or I don't know, when I was starting out comedy and with the taping especially, it's you feel this pressure of you gotta do your jokes. But the thing that makes my stand-up fun is I'm not tight. I'm really loose, and anything I'll talk about anything. Anything can kind of happen, and I'm really cool with that. I don't need the control of the audience. Obviously, the audience can be disruptive sometimes, but I don't mind a little bit more of a talkative, rowdy crowd. I'm cool with it because I'm there. I'm trying to be in service of the audience. So it's I'm trying to get the best jokes I can so that I can tell you the best jokes. But sometimes the best joke is just a joke about somebody's shirt in the moment, or a joke about the room or whatever. And it's it might not hit online. It might not hit a broad audience, but it's for the people in that room. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is create a show that you come to and you're that was phenomenal. And I don't even know if it would make sense to other people, but in the moment in that room, we had a freaking blast. But yeah, the taping went really well. I was loose. I was probably too loose. But I got in a good amount of jokes that I wanted to do. I basically did all the jokes I wanted to do, which is perfect. And then I had a lot of fun with the audience. I did crowd work with a piece of confetti that fell from the sky. That clip will be out in 6 months. Alrighty. Ooh, a college grad's long shot email results in a front row pass as a photographer during 3 Taylor Swift shows. Dude, shoot your shot. Get out there. Submit for jobs. Submit for your dream job. You never know. They might just say yes. That's something I've been thinking about lately, is I got to push harder. I got to get more no's. And not that I want no's, but it's if you get a certain percentage of no's, it means you're out there trying. And I feel I've been a little afraid of that, and I need to just get out there more, put myself out there more, submit for more stuff, and just try to get, whatever kind of opportunities I can out there. Okay, Canadian photographer who was able to photograph Taylor Swift at her recent Eras tour, all because she was in college and she cold called a video producer whose work she admired. Wow, that's incredible. That led to an offer to come on to set with the idol herself. That's incredible. Yeah, so basically she just shot her shot and submitted, and she got to photograph a Taylor Swift show. Amazing. We love that. Let's see, what else, guys? Ooh, a cash-strapped county found success with a 32-hour work week. It's life-changing. Well, in the Washington County of San Juan, they transitioned to a 32-hour or 4-day work week, has generated a year's worth of data, and has the country's workers excited. The cash-strapped San Juan has projected that the union-negotiated salary raises would climb above the payroll budget for the year. And the reduction in working hours has helped avoid that red ink. Okay, but on a human level, 87% of the country's workers report an impact of the 32-hour work week, improve their well-being, and their work-life balance. Dude, that's so sick. Okay, so that could mean for other industries they move to a 32-hour work week also. We need more days off. Days off are so important to calibrate things that are going on. And you figure out what you're truly passionate about. And listen, if you're working at a job you're not truly passionate about, and we all are. I was serving hors d'oeuvres to rich people last night. You think I'm passionate about that? No, I'm passionate about this, about getting you to come to a show so I can make you laugh. But the thing with those days off is it helps you find your actual passion, and then you show up to work, and if you're passionate about your work, you do better. If you're not passionate about your work, you're at least well rested, and the odds are you will figure out what you're actually passionate about, leave your current job, go there, and then somebody who's passionate about your job will take that job. Bam! Now you've got people that are passionate. So these people are getting paid the same amount, working less, their life is better, and I guess it also helped balance the budget, maybe because they weren't hitting overtime or something. I don't know. But I don't understand it totally, but this is phenomenal. Additionally, since the implementation of the 32-hour work week, interest in county employment among San Juan's Islanders has dramatically... Everyone's like, yeah, wait, let me get that 32-hour a week job. Everyone's applying. The total of applicants spiked by 85%. Literally, the entire county was like, let me get that job. Voluntary separations, quitting or retiring have decreased. So people stopped quitting because they weren't getting burnt out at work. So they stayed longer. That's phenomenal. They have fewer. Yeah, okay, so here's some things they did. They did less meetings. Easy. Nobody likes those anyways. More streamlined meetings. They found new software to organize workflow. Yes, technology, when working with people, doesn't replace people. It just means people work less and can work better. It's phenomenal. They used the software they had more, and they increased organization and efficiency throughout county staff. This is incredible news. This is a great news story. This is good enough for 2 news stories. So we got the Indiana Jones, and we got the photographer lady, and now we got how this cash-strapped county, 32-hour work week. And maybe when the data comes out and we get all the gurus talking about it, you got to get the gurus talking. Get a bunch of rich people to say it's a good idea. If you get Malcolm Gladwell to say it's a good idea, that would move the needle, I think. That guy moves the needle. He was trying to get people to go back to work in an office, which is very upsetting that he would be against us like that. Come on, Malcolm. Be on our side. Who needs to work in an office? All right. Subscribe to the Patreon if you want to see what I'm really stoked about this week. I got a fun new toy, and I'm very excited. So come to the Patreon, see what that's all about. It's only $1. It can be $5 if you want, but it's only $1. Check out my beacons. Come to my live shows. The 30 of you listening, come. Sign up to the email list so I know where you live. And I can tell you when I'm doing a show in your area. Like, subscribe. Thanks so much for listening. Stay stoked and don't crash those spaceships.